And that's why people, I guess, love the Springboks. They're teaming up with Reach for a Dream to make young Isabella's dream come true. And we are joined now by a legend of South African rugby, 1995 Rugby World Cup winner, Hennie Le Roux, to help us look back at this game. And there he is. Hennie, good evening from us on SABC, and thank you for speaking to us tonight.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. We've just seen that heartwarming video of the Springboks there making a dream of Isabella come true. I guess that's what this team has become about now. It's more than just about rugby, Hennie.
Certainly, you know, they've proven not only to themselves but to the world what a quality side they are on and off the field, and we've really got some wonderful true statesmen in that team, and they really make all South Africans very, very proud.
Yeah, just like your class of 1995 did there when they won the Rugby World Cup, bringing the country together. But on the field, dominant clinical performance by the Springboks against Argentina. What impressed you the most with this performance today, Hennie?
I think it started off right up front with the way we scrummed in the tight phases. We dominated that phase completely, and I think we broke the Argentinian back. Oxenchair was enormous in terms of his contribution in that first 50 minutes, well supported by everyone else, and we dominated every aspect of the game, just as we expect from the Springboks, and they managed to retain that strong grip in every facet of the game throughout the game.
Did they seem to play like a team with a point to prove, especially after the mishap in Argentina last weekend?
Yeah, look, there's one thing. Is a wounded Springbok is a difficult Springbok. So it's something you have to be careful of. And I think the guys came back with the necessary vigor and determination to prove that.
Yeah, and most eyes obviously would have been on Hennie Le Roux, especially after what happened in Argentina. The coaches backed him. He started actually today against Argentina. What did you make of
different things? And that's what's made him such a successful and unique coach. So one has to congratulate him on his efforts and his innovative approach in terms of things. And he sticks by his beliefs, and that's what makes him successful.
Yeah, and we saw they even had a plan B for kicking there because they know maybe Money had a lot of pressure and his kicking isn't where it should be. But is that sustainable going forward, though, having a 10 but somebody else kicking?
Look, I think having the base, and this is what he does so well, having the base of players is critical. And I think that's what he works at to ensure at the World Cup he can produce at whatever level, in whatever position. And I think that is the key issue around how Rassie structures games and how he looks into the future.
Yeah, and talking about the future, we are seeing a varied style of play now from the Springboks. They seem to be happy to move the ball around a bit. I know credit has been given to Tony Brown since his arrival. Is this now a new idea in this next World Cup cycle for the Springboks? And what do you make of how now they've improvised their game?
Yes, I think, having different mindsets, different thoughts is a critical aspect of ensuring the future and change and the ability to bring about different ways of thinking. And we're bringing that into the side.
Mm. But they even lost what makes the Boks who they are. Like you mentioned when we started there, you were very impressed with the forwards and how they basically outscrammed Argentina today.
Yeah, I think the whole round performance was very, very good, and there's no real area that we are really weak in, and I think that's the strength of the side. We've got 2 or 3 sides with interchanging players in every position, and what a fantastic base for any coach to enjoy. And Rassie's done immense work in creating that. It didn't come by itself, and he should get the accolades deservingly.
Mm. But they scored most of the points in the first half, leading 27-7. The points didn't come until Argentina had their players sent off late in the second half there. But it was still a clinical performance. They made full use of that advantage that they had.
Well, that's the quality of a good side, is to identify those weaknesses, those opportunities, and optimize them when they come. But regardless of that, I think we dominated in all aspects, and as a result of the tight five doing the groundwork, it created the space for our backs to plunder.
Yeah, and without singling out too many players, otherwise we'll have to go through the whole team. But the day also belonged to Eben Etzebeth here. 128 caps, becomes the most capped Springbok of all time, now passing Victor Matfield's mark of 127. What would you say has been key to this longevity, Hennie?
Yeah, what a monumental effort from him to be able to have surpassed Victor's record, and he's done it with aplomb and style and still going strong. So, hats off to him. He's done South Africa proud. He is someone that really stands out. He's a hero to many. Eben is a marked man in the sense that he's etched his name into history by the contributions that he's made on and off the field, and someone we'll always relish in South Africa as a great.
Yeah, definitely entering the debate about the greatest Springboks now, Eben Etzebeth. What about Jesse Kriel, though? Sometimes it feels like he doesn't really get the recognition or the respect that he deserves, but he always delivers for this team.
Yeah, Jesse's fiery, he's on the way, he's quick, he's got the experience, he's got the mind to be able to offload and make the right decisions, as any top experienced player should be at that level. And he's explosive, so he's also got unique attributes. But they're all hard pressed in terms of quality players in all positions. So it's wonderful for that team, because regardless of how one plays or the form you're in, if whoever slots in seems to be able to perform, at the required level.
Yeah, which is what Apelele Fassi has done at 15. There's going to be a fight now for that jersey with Hennie Le Roux trying to get to 100 caps.
No, certainly. I think that's again the strength of the side. Fassi had a great game, scored 2 nice tries, and a little bit of rounding off. He's a difficult man. He's quick. He's difficult to contain, and he brings a different dimension to the team as well.
Yeah, we've got the end of the year tour coming up now. What do you expect the coaches to do when it comes to squad selection now as they build to the next World Cup?
Well, I think this is what Russi's potentially going to assess, and he's going to say, look, who can he take through to the next World Cup over the next couple of years? And he's going to start molding his team towards that. And that's why he bloods so many young players, sometimes to the uncertainty of the fans wanting a win every Saturday. His focus is futuristic and making sure that the people that come through have sufficient game time so that they can position themselves as players with experience when they enter the next World Cup.
Yeah. And I know we focused a lot on the Springboks, Hennie, and understandably so, but what would you say about Argentina's performance in this Rugby Championship? The fact that they've beaten New Zealand, they've beaten Australia, they've beaten the Springboks, and have actually taken this tournament to the last game.
Yeah, well, look, Argentina has always been a tough and tenacious side. They were always difficult to control, in the sense you'd expect to beat them, but if you had lacked off in any way, like many teams have found in the last year or two now, they've really upped their game. A lot of their players have gained a lot of experience in Europe. So they're up there now matching the best. So as a rugby nation, they're a very proud nation. And they'll always be a team to contend with because their passion for the sport is there.
But the same can be said about the Wallabies, though. I mean, compared to the Wallabies that you used to play back in your days, why do you think Australian rugby has gone backwards, Hennie?
I think it's largely to do with the fact that it's a very competitive arena for them. They're sitting with footy, they're sitting with rugby league, and then rugby. We're in a very fortunate position of probably having 10 or 15 times the amount of players that Australians do. And as the sport has caught up to the professional ways in which they used to approach the game, and was their strength in the 90s, all the technical aspects related to that is now on level par. So they are finding it somewhat difficult to get the depth that New Zealand, South Africa, France, England would enjoy.
Yeah, okay, and there's no longer Super Rugby also can't test themselves against South African teams also. But thank you, Hennie, for speaking to us. Great to see you, great to hear from you, and you'll always remain a legend of South African rugby.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you. Hennie Le Roux joining us here on Sports Live. Should have asked him where's Jaap Mulder, because they were always together on the field of play there. But great to hear from the legend. And once again, well done to the Springboks.